How to run your petrol engine using pure water out of a tap. Okay. The essence of the universe is hydrogen, helium, oxygen. Okay. So the sun itself runs upon the nuclear fission between hydrogen and helium. And of course the combination with oxygen or O2 forms H2O. If the sun itself runs upon the catalytic reaction between hydrogen to helium, it doesn't take one to be a quantum physicist to understand that if you're able to subfractionate H2O, you would be able to release hydrogen, which is combustible, which runs hydrogen engines, and also oxygen, which of course is the main constituent of making the fire work. Of course, we live in a world where fossil fuel is destroying society, and people would rather dig and destroy this earth rather than installing a simple $1,000 catalytic converter into an existing petrol engine, which simply divides the hydrogen molecule off, the hydrogen burns, the oxygen burns, and the water vapour comes out the exhaust. So in a matter of weeks, the whole environment, certain environment, could be completely utterly changed by simply a $1,000 catalytic converter. Of course, many men have had this information for many years, but of course, the powers that be in the Pentagon or Washington or wherever, or in Saudi Arabia, would cut your head off simply for suggestions as possible. But the reality is now there is a vortex of people who understand this, and we seek to bring this in. This will be a profound change in the environment. Simply why? Because the people will do this. The plans are on the internet. You simply dial up water car or how to run a car on water. There are a number of sites. All the information on the technology is in the public domain. It's been freely given by divine hand, simply because we change this epoch around and basically castrate those people who destroy the earth from fossil fuel. Love you, George Bush, and I really don't care. Remember, it's Moses in the burning bush, but anyway, I'm a bit of a revolution. So that's available. There's a guy in Perth who does it for $1,000. You can stick the catalytic converter in the car and you're off. All right, you can see pictures of cars running and it works. Okay, forget not the OPEC countries. Forget not oil. Their system, their economy is broken. Why? Because we simply declare it prophetically now, and as a consequence, it thus shall happen. I'm sorry. Rock and roll.
Water car, no petrol. Wow, sounds awesome. Sounds awesome for the environment, far cheaper if we're heading into tough economic times. Let's not need the money. Let's convert and not be reliant on oil prices and things like that. Super wonderful. If they're running on clean water, we've got a water crisis in Australia and things like that. So maybe if we can use like desalinated water, that would be ideal.
It's even better because the addition of the sodium molecule.
Maybe too much salt.
Yes, with Na plus burns like crazy in water. So that's additional catalyst. It's perfect. It doesn't. And again, the exhaust is what? It's water vapor. So you're not actually losing water. You're just.
But water plus salt.
Well, that's different if you add to this. Of course, you have to look at that.
But desalinated.
Well, if it's
maybe.
Desalinated, it's fine. It doesn't make a difference.
This is quite interesting because the solutions being pushed by the powers that be are for electric transport. So why isn't hydrogen on the agenda as an alternative fuel? Why? Why isn't it even being discussed as an alternative?
It's free.
Because it's free, possibly.
Because it's free. That's the whole point. Same with solar power. Solar power technology is here. It is totally free. It'll totally, the 1/1,000,000th of the power of the sun has the ability to boil the ocean from naught, take it up to 100 degrees in 1 second if you utilise 1 second of the power of solar energy. But of course, then that sets mankind free. Oh, and God forbid that people should be free. We have to tax them. We have to chain them up with electricity wires. Tesla had this in the 1930s. They stole everything he did. So it's an abomination what these men. Prophets have come to set the world free, and idiots have come to chain us again.
Well, absolutely, yes. Let's check out and investigate hydrogen as an alternative fuel source. It sounds feasible. Why not?
The way we could do something proactive from this is actually set up to promote public awareness of or test it as well, but also to create public awareness.
I wasn't sure, were you saying that this is already happening?
It's already happening. Many people have it, they just keep it underground because it's too controversial. They just stick water in the car and say, well, stop here, don't care.
So were you saying that there was somewhere you can get an engine for $1,000?
Yeah, there's this place in Perth, get on the internet. Okay, it's going for it just says water car. There's a few guys doing it. So, some will just give you the plans and you can take it to anybody who wants to wire it up. But other people have done the little box and just screw it in your off.
So you have water car.
Water car engine.
Water car engine.
Yeah, it does. It sounds great. I think just getting awareness about it out and people researching it and yeah, just getting the idea out. I think that would be a good place to start.
Halfway and sorry, listening.
What ideas did you get from this?
From like using
What is water in the
yeah.
engine?
And it's a good idea.
To run a car.
Yeah, it's very good.
But then again, we have a water shortage. How do you store hydrogen safely? Is it being a combustible substance? Is it feasible to store it in a tank in a car, which could be involved in a smash?
Well, of course, and those are the issues we have to ask the guys who do that. But I believe what happens is that as the fission occurs, it burns straight away. So there's no actual storage within the engine, you understand? So therefore it's very, very safe.
Well, I had a friend, a Swiss technologist who was actually working on a hydrogen engine.
Yes, yes.
And he said that the main problem was storing it safely.
No, I understand. If you have this hydrogen, I understand that. But the simple catalytic conversion is that as the bubbles of hydrogen come out of the solution, like a champagne bottle, they're instantaneously combusted, and as a consequence, drive the car without storing.
No, I'm talking about safety in case of an accident on the highway.
Yeah, I understand.
It could be a bomb.
Yeah, no, I understand. But what I'm saying is hydrogen is not stored. It's not stored in any form of pressurized container, because as the hydrogen, the car is running. Okay, the catalytic converter turns the water into hydrogen in bubbles. Okay, the bubbles come out and they automatically combust, and they therefore drive the engine in tiny amounts.
So there's no storage.
No, so there's no storage. It's perfect. Not having a big tank of rubbish in the back like gas. That's a nightmare. You see, and that is a shame because you've got to go and fill up at the gas station. No, we seek to set man free again through his transportation. So he simply puts water in the car, and that's it.
It's too easy, too free.
It's of course. That's what they won't allow. This is the point. But the chains are off.
Sure. Well, yeah, it makes sense in terms of profit. You can't make a profit out of it, so it's not a go, obviously.
Making something happen from this discussion. Maybe two things I think we could do. I think we could research it and get feedback from people who have done it, see some videos and do some research, maybe promote that research in the public. So we need a few people interested in research to research this. Then maybe give websites, create a database of different things, and we can help. But yeah, research as well I think is really important, making sure it's and checking on safety. What other things?
Like actually have a car that has this engine in it and maybe travel around, have people test drive it, just like kind of have a day, like just like someplace in a popular spot. People can come, see that, see it. Like, oh, the car's running on water. You can test it out. You can give them the information, things like that. I think that'd be cool. So it's hard to believe, I think, unless you really see it sometimes.
Maybe we could have either that or a bus.
Yes.
Or
bus.
a caravan.
Bus.
We could have a caravan and maybe vans and things and cruise around like a pack of kind of gypsies or something like this in water cars.
Yes.
Creating festivals and beautiful things.
Filling up people's water bottles.
And having great fun. Wow.
That'd be really neat.
So we might need some donation vehicles, maybe some funding somehow, some support for this to happen in a big way. Maybe just...
People know actually how to do it.
Yeah.
Technologists, mechanics who can actually do the physical work needed to build a hydrogen engine.
It's all been done. Everything's been done. It's all been expressed.
You need people.
Yeah, they've already done
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Everything's
They
done.
already did.
Everyone's, but they're just too frightened to get up because they won't get killed. But again, once the critical mass is there, it's already won, which is now. I think the state changed the world. In other words, the internet has a profound understanding of people striving for these truths to be real, but pieces of crap who run in society prevent these images coming out. But of course, this is a piece of revolution of truth, which always wins. And so the consequence of the world now will change climatically because they're no longer screwing the environment with fossil fuels or chemtrails or whatever they do to totally destroy our environment. We've had enough. Thank you.
Here, here.
I hear the roar of Celestia.
Arrest that man.
Oh, I knew it!